Hey everybody, Rachel here from RachelTheStamper.com. Today we're going to make a little mini milk carton box so you could fill this with treats. Embarrassed to tell you that I actually started doing a different video off of something I hadn't done in a while, and I was like, I'll just fool with it. I'm sure it's going to turn out, and I have a lot of wasted paper. So don't feel bad if you feel like you do that a lot of the times. Everybody makes mistakes. It's kind of the way it goes. Actually, I do need to trim this down a little bit. So sometimes what I try to do is make mistakes with my not great paper, but you know how that goes. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this down. We're going to start off. So you could get 2 of these. If you have 12 by 12 paper, this is a nice way. You can make a couple different treat boxes and you really won't have a whole lot of waste. You could actually use the pieces that are left even to make a card. So what we're going to do, this is a pretty simple box. I'm sure you've heard of it before. Most of the time it's called a 2, 4, 6, 8 box. So we're going to go ahead and score it 2. This is on the 8.5 inch side. 4, 6, and 8. Okay, just like so. Then you're going to turn it and then you're going to score it 2 and 4. So this one here isn't going to be exactly 2 inches, but it's close enough really. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to just score about, make sure I do this correctly so I don't ruin it, because we need about a 1/2 inch from the top. Yeah, we'll score it at 5. I give enough. Yeah, we'll just score it 5.5. And it could be a little long where we could round the edges or trim it a little bit, but no big deal. Now, one other thing you're going to need to do, so keep your stylus handy, is grab, oh, where are they? Here's my paper piercing mat. So we're going to grab that. And what we're going to do is we're going to kind of just orient ourselves. So this is going to be the top of the box, okay? So the one that has the skinny strip at the top is the top of the box. Now, if it makes it easier for you, I'll show you what we can do. We'll just trim this off. So we're going to take off everything but this tab. That way we can kind of see what we're doing here. Just wedge this. And if you wanted to round this, instead of wedging it, you could just leave it straight for now. We'll just take that off so we know this is the top, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to put some score marks in here. That way we can kind of close our box a little simpler. Now, you could do this one of 2 ways. So again, these are 2-inch squares. So what you can do is you could take a little pencil. Of course, whenever I need a little pencil, it's never where I want it. And you could just score at 1 inch, or I should make a little pencil mark at 1 inch. Doesn't have to be super dark. Kind of up at the top. Wait, if you want to, you can erase it. So we'll make a little pencil mark. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our ruler and we're going to score from this corner to the pencil mark and vice versa on all 4 of these. So we're scoring here, and I'm going to use my smaller stylus. I'm just lining up the corner of my ruler here and pushing. Same thing again here. So I have my corner and my tick mark there that we made. And here, and one more time. Just like so. Okay, so that's pretty much it. All right, now, let me move this out of the way. We can do is we can go ahead and go in with our bone folder, reinforce our folds. You don't really have to do anything with those triangle folds up top quite yet, because we will fold those eventually. And oops, I forgot about this one. Plus we have a little trimming to do here. I'm going to fold this down. Now you also could omit this flap if you wanted to just clip it together. So that's just kind of something that's up to you. Now I have done this a couple different ways and I'll explain to you. I am going to remove the bottom part here. And this is kind of where it becomes, you have an option. You can remove this second tab here, but I find that if you want to keep the tuck flap, it actually helps to secure the box better, since you'll have 2 contact points for your adhesive. Now I'm going to trim this just a little bit. I'm going to give it a little miter cut. But you can take this top wedge off if you want, but you definitely need something to connect. So this will be our main connection which is right here, but I'm actually going to put adhesive here as well because these parts will fold in. So you can go ahead and just lightly kind of fold these. They will fold more once you're finished. And then the only other thing you want to do is just cut up to the score line on the bottom. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to decorate this with some of the tropical DSP because I think it's really, really pretty. So this would be a great way to make some favors if you needed favors for a shower. And once again, the one that's going to remain square is the one that's going to be the front. So that's going to be this panel here. So I'm going to just go back with my scissors just a teeny bit and kind of neaten up this cut line here. And then the rest of them, oops, the rest of them I'll trim down a little bit. This has a little hanging over. That's good. So these, you can, even to make it simpler so you know which one is going to be the really pretty one, you can kind of cut them down a little bit if you want. And then just give them a little miter cut on each side. Same with this one. We'll just cut both of these down. That way we know. Because since this is a very square box, meaning that it measures the same on all sides, that bottom flap, since we kept the one, is going to cover everything up. So it should look very nice without a lot of effort. And I find that when you do miter cut these, it does just make the box go together a little bit better. So once again, it's going to go like this. These flaps will all fold in, and then this one will be the bottom flap, okay? So we're going to put some adhesive on here. We're going to put some adhesive here. I am going to use tear and tape because I find that it's a little stronger, especially if someone's going to be opening and closing your box. So, I know that went over just a little bit. I'm going to put a little bit here, since this will be the main closure. And then we're actually going to add the DSP before we put it together. So this is going to go 1, 2, 3. I'm going to put a little bit here as well, just to give me something else for these to hold on to. Okay, so let me just go back and show you. So again, this is going to be our side. This is going to be the flap that goes in. Ooh. See, actually I better use my good eraser because sometimes my erasers don't work as well when they've been here for a little bit. I don't know if that ever happens to you guys where you get that one eraser. The pencil's great, but the eraser kind of mucks up the whole project. So that's what it's going to look like. Now what we're going to do is just cut down some DSP. So I do have the rest of my sampler. If you aren't familiar, I did, oh, this one would even be really fun. Let's use this one. I did do a DSP sample for every single paper, designer series paper, in the spring mini catalog. So I will also do that for the brand new catalog when it comes out. So that will be the 2020-2021, the big annual catalog. That'll come out in June. So if you're interested in that, keep that in the back of your mind. So I'm going to just cut these at 1 7/8 square. So 1 7/8 by 1 7/8. But it's really fun. Actually, this year, I think I'm going to do something different. Last year, and for the holiday catalog as well, what I did, grab one more here. So that's 3. So these are going to go on here. Now, the nice part is the way I cut these, oops, they should line up. Well, except if I turned them and I didn't pay attention which way I did. These should line up contiguously. So you could get them to line up properly if you cut them and you were paying attention, unlike me. So I'm going to cut a couple more because I want to put one more in the back, and I'm actually going to put one, I think, on the lid as well. Might even put a piece on the inside. So 1, let's see if I can keep these together a little bit better. 2. So for my paper share, what I'm actually going to do this time is I'm also going to make some bases. So every DSP that we have, which I believe we should have if I'm calculating correctly, I'm just going to go ahead and adhere these down. You see which one's going to be the front, so I know. It's going to be this one right here. So this will be the front. Let's see if I can somehow manage. That one looks kind of like it would have been on. Oh well, they're just going to be mixed up. No biggie. So what I'm going to do is for each DSP, I'm going to make a card for each one. So in addition to getting the DSP share, you also will get a card base and an idea for each suite or each DSP theme, I guess is the best way to say a suite or a theme. And that way, it'll kind of give you some more ideas of what you'll be able to do. Okay, and I'll put the bananas over here. With your paper, instead of just having this paper and not really knowing what to do with it. So hopefully that'll give you some ideas. Okay, and actually now that I look at it, because this is going to be the top, I am going to need to trim these down just a little bit, but no biggie. Let me make sure these are nice and straight on here. So this is going to have to trim up just a smidge for the top. So we'll cut them down just a little bit. Let me just grab my ruler. I feel like I said 1 and there you go, 1.5. So we'll do these at 1 3/8. Let me just trim these down just a little bit. And we'll see. Now this one, we are going to actually still take this one off. So, no, am I right? Hold on here. Let me think. Because if we're going to put this together, this is going to squeeze. And we're going to put this in here. Yep, I am right. All right, so we said 1.5, 1 3/8 by 1 3/8. There we go. I think the fruit on these are really, really cute because they're super fun, tropical. Not like anything we have around here, that's for sure. I wish we had a little bit of this tropic feel in Maryland, but I'm just going to add this with a little bit of liquid glue. That way, in case I want to move it around a little bit, I have the ability to do that. That is one thing that I love about the liquid glue. Has that saving power of if you screw it up, you still have time to move it. There we go. Okay, looks pretty good. So let me just give this 1 second. I just want to make sure it stays and it's all down where I want it. It's also really important to make sure when you do put these on that you put a lot near the edges because you want to make sure that the edge doesn't peel up when you start folding it. So I'm going to go ahead and peel this off. And I know I have this extra piece. I'm just going to fold that over. And that's why I didn't want to fold this one up too much yet because I want it to line up nicely. So I kind of put it down flat, but then I also make sure I fold it the other way so everything still lines up nicely. So that will go there. And this does take a little bit of working to get it in, but this will go in like that. So you could certainly put little pieces in the triangles there, but I think it looks fine without it. So then we're going to fold these flaps in. And we're going to put this one down. So this is going to be the back. If you wanted to, you could absolutely put a little piece on the underside of this. But once this part gets taken off, everything should work fine. And just fold this one over. Make sure this is nice and square. There we go. That looks good. I'm just going to take my bone folder. Make sure that works. Looks cute. So fun little mini milk carton. So what might fit in here? So what you could fit in if you were giving somebody something, probably, obviously, definitely can fit some candy in there, but you probably could even fit in a little re-inker if you wanted to give somebody maybe a crafty friend a little Easter gift or a little springtime gift or a little teen gift, really simple like that. So something easy will fit in there. You can certainly fill this up with some candies. Hershey Kisses would fit. Little mini Reese cups would be cute as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this and then I'm just going to do one more thing, because if it bothers you that it doesn't necessarily stay closed, what you could also do is just wrap it with a little bit of ribbon. So we will grab our white crinkled seam binding ribbon and we'll just bring this up, and this is totally optional, and tie this. You can even color this seam binding ribbon, so you could actually color it so it would match those passion fruit, which would be really neat. I think that's what they're called anyway. They might be dragon fruit. I'm not 100% up on my tropical fruit. I know the bananas, obviously, they're not really as tropical as we want to say. Pineapple, mango. I feel like those are dragon fruit though. But really cute. And again, like I said, you could color coordinate this, but it makes it pretty simple to keep it nicely closed. Really great to fit something in. This is a pretty small box. So again, it only is going to measure when it's standing. What is this going to go to? About 3.5 inches. So it's pretty small. Small enough that you could give this to anybody and fit it. But again, I would really love to hear your comments on this project. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Again, don't forget the tropical, this is called, I believe, Tropical Escape. I think I could be right. I could be wrong. But it's a beautiful DSP. It has so many really pretty patterns to it. Nice neutral patterns on the back as well. You have your pineapples. And then it's got these awesome woodies. Who doesn't love those? They're so cute. I just still need to make a card with this. And then this has more of the matte color on the other side. So great papers, great little project here. If you'd like more information on getting anything, if you have any questions about this project or about getting any of the supplies, all you have to do is send me an email or leave me a comment here on YouTube. I always try to check all of my comments, and I definitely always respond to my emails. So if there is a comment I miss, I do apologize. Sometimes they slip through. And also, if you are interested in doing the DSP share that will be coming up, make sure you stay tuned, because I will start to talk about it a little bit more in April once we know how many papers we're going to have. And then again, I'm going to try to do something a little bit extra than I've done in the past. In the past, what I've done is I send out these little packs of DSP, so they all come in this clear cello bag. I do label them with the name of the designer series paper, the reorder number, and how much it costs, so that way it's very simple to reorder. I also put all of the coordinating colors that go for each DSP. But this time what I'm going to do in addition to that is I'm going to give you one card base and a little bit more to it. So it'll be a card base and maybe some sort of a die cut or something else that you could do with it, maybe just a punched piece, and give you some ideas of what you could do with it as well. So I haven't 100% ironed out the details of how I'm going to do that yet, if we're going to be able to do add-on stamp sets or ink colors, but stay tuned to reach the stamper for that. And once I have everything kind of nailed down, I definitely will talk about it a little bit more here on my YouTube page and on Facebook as well. So thank you guys so much for joining. I hope you like this little box. Really cute, easy way to give a friend a treat and brighten their day for sure. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day.